Hey guys, we're going to make this a quick video. In class, I did a problem for you that resembled the kind of problems on the front of this page. So I'm not going to do another example because I've already done an example for you on these type of problems on the front. So let's move to the back and let's go ahead and look at number 24. Let me zoom in here. Hope you guys are having a good evening. Short video tonight. So we're going to cross multiply. I'm going to go ahead and I'm left-handed, so I'm going to go ahead and start this way. Now it's a term times a term, so it's just going to be 2x times 5x, however you want to show that multiplication. Bring down the equal sign. Alright, let's make this interesting. Let's use a different color. Here, cross multiplying the other way, we're going to multiply the term first times the group. Remember, a group is formed when you have adding and subtracting. Okay, so now we want to solve for x. So first of all, we're going to start simplifying. So 2x times 5x, that's going to give us 2 times 5, which is 10. X times x is x squared. If you ever wondered how we come up with the 2, remember that when we multiply like bases, we add the exponent. So 1 plus 1 is 2. Bring down the equal sign. Distribute. Distributing the 5 over here, we get 5x squared minus 25x. Okay? Next thing we want to do here is we want to cancel out an x squared. We have an x squared on both sides, so we want to cancel one of these out. I always like to cancel out the smaller one. So to cancel out a term, you cancel out a term by adding or subtracting. Well, since the 5 is a positive, we would subtract. And what you do to one side, you do the same thing to the other side. Alright, so we're subtracting like terms. So 10x squared minus 5x squared gives us 5x squared equals, those cancel, negative, the minus comes down, minus 25x. Okay, then first of all, this is a quadratic equation. If you'll recall, we need to set the equation equal to 0. So I'm going to make this side 0. So I'm going to cancel out the term on the right. And what you do on one side, we do to the other side. So we end up with 5x squared plus 25x. Now these are not like terms because the exponents are different. So we put the square term first, the x term second. Okay, so we have a couple different ways of solving this. We could solve, since it's quadratic, we could solve this by doing the x factor. Solve by factoring this, or we could solve using the quadratic formula. Well, I'm going to go ahead and factor, and I'm not going to use the x factor. I'm going to look at both of these terms and notice that I can factor a 5 out of both of them. I'm going to look at both of these terms and notice that I can factor an x out of both of them. So I'm going to factor out a 5x. Remember, factoring means to divide. So going back here, 5x squared divided by 5x. Well, 5 divided by 5 is 1. X squared divided by x is x. 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay? Dividing the second one. 25x divided by 5x. 25 divided by 5 is 5. And then x divided by x is just 1. So 5 times 1 is just 5. So you know you have the right answer if you distribute this back in by multiplying. You get this. Okay? Factoring is dividing. Distributing is multiplying. Next, we set each factor equal to 0. So let's start with 5x. Divide both sides by 5. X equals 0. So that's going to be one of our solutions. Take the other factor, set it equal to 0, and solve. X equals negative 5. So our solution set is x equals 0 and negative 5. Now you could take these numbers and you could plug them back in for everywhere you see an x, and you could see that they do work, that you do get equal ratios. Okay? Alright, so tomorrow we're going to finish this worksheet in pairs. Have a good night.